Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It is Ragewood here, and today we're going to be looking at the final new elemental damage coming to Season 3. Now, general consensus is that these guys are not that great, and we are going to take a look at that ourselves and, form our own opinion. Now, I have already recorded half what I was going to do today, but I didn't have this plugged in, so the entire thing was on mute. Arguably a benefit, but I think you like to hear my voice, so we're going to redo it all for funsies, because why not? So, here we have our gorgeous looking merfolk. Now, the one reason I loved Raid was because of the graphics and things. Dragonair definitely just hit things straight on the head, don't they? You got these cool coral swords and such, which is wicked. So we're going to take a quick look at the new Aura heroes. There are 7 of them here. Start with Diantha, a little sort of fairy that we've got here. She's got an aura of 30% in all battles. Now, all of the aura heroes have this enter the blaze state when they get to 100 aura energy. How do they get aura energy? They get it from using skills, battle skills, and ultimate skills. Excuse me. So naturally, skill haste will be very beneficial for this lot, so they can just cast their skills faster and faster. But from what I can see, outside of the casting of skills, you don't just naturally gain aura energy over time. Okay, now as it says here, they enter the blaze state after accumulating 100, which we know they no longer gain it whilst they're in that state. And some of them skills will consume your aura energy and get enhanced. When the aura energy runs out, they will exit the state. So a little fairy, whenever the hero consumes aura energy, her next basic attack will fire an orb, which bounces up to 4 times. Number of orbs fired can be accumulated. Her battle skill, she grants 10 aura energy to all allies, or aura allies, I should say, and then she deals damage in an area. And once she's in her blaze state, she'll consume 5 aura to deal max HP, which is kind of cool. Her ultimate, she is in a way a bit like Lorenthal is to Rally, so she will deal attack damage and max HP damage, targeted range, with 75% of placing this full bloom debuff, as it were, which increases damage taken from other aura heroes. So in an ideal world, we want to use this and then use our damage dealers as well. Now, potentially she is an option for Witch's Remains here. It's not full board, but it's big enough area to hit most things. The only downside is that it only hits once, so kind of like the whole Elminster thing. She also generates a domain for 10 seconds in a blaze state, during which the aura energy consumed by allies will be returned at a cost of depleting 10 aura from the hero instead. And then when she's not in a blaze state, she gains 35 energy. Moving on to Linkos, our the best harp player in the sea. He has 45% in City of Trials. He also starts with 50 aura energy, so he will generally enter the blaze state first. His battle skill gains 15 aura energy and strikes enemy 3 times, each dealing damage. While in the blaze state, he'll consume 5 aura to deal max HP. So there's a lot of max HP damage going on in this group here. Then his ultimate, board wide, damage to all enemies. He grants 35 aura energy to the ally with the highest attack. If he's in a blaze state, he will summon an accompanist to follow the aura ally with the highest attack. And while not in a blaze state, he gains 35 aura energy. The accompanist is like this weird, angelic kind of creature, I guess you can call it. It launches basic attacks And Linkos consumes 15 aura energy to enable the accompanist to form coordinated attack around all enemies, dealing damage. Exclusive then has crit damage in Cydia Trials battles. Wish this was all battles. I really do. She enters the blaze state like they all do, increasing damage by 30% when she's in the blaze state. The hero's attacks guarantee crit hits, which is kind of nice. So you don't need to build crit rate on her just for her, is how I read that. She also gains invincibility for 5 seconds if her current HP is below 30% after taking damage. Great for the survivability front. During which time the hero's attacks are guaranteed critical hits. This effect can only hit her every minute, though. The battle skill, she gains 50 aura energy and deals radiant damage to enemies within range centered on a current target. It's kind of lame because when it centers on someone, you don't always hit everything, but it is what it is. But she also gains a 10% max HP shield for 5 seconds in the meantime. Each enemy hit by a skill grants an additional 20% strength, or shield strength as it were. And while in a blaze state, she consumes 5 aura to deal max HP damage. Her ultimate then, 500% damage to enemies in range, consumes 20 aura energy to strike enemies within range 2 additional times in the blaze state. This is really cool, okay. And with each strike dealing 10% max HP and gains 30 aura energy. Moving on to the epics, Narzilla, 24% in all battles. Again, some other epics have 30%. I don't know why that's low. Increase the hero's attack by 5% for each buff they have. So this could be good, potentially. Her battle skill, she does max HP damage, and then consumes 5 energy to extend the duration of the hero's buff by 3 seconds. Kind of cool, niche, I like it. Then her ult, she gains crit damage up, deals damage to an enemy. The next 8 seconds, whenever an aura ally attacks, the hero will assist the attack once to deal 2.5% max HP. This effect can be triggered every 2 seconds, and while in the blaze state, she consumes 5 aura energy to launch another one when doing it, and gains 30 when not. Next, we have our Girthin reskin, as I like to call it. 30% in Cydia Trials. Grants ultimate skill damage bonus for 20 seconds to an aura ally whenever they enter the blaze state. I think this is really cool, and it'll be interesting to see what difference it makes on, for example, the exclusive, who's going to strike additional times as well. So I like this one. I haven't played with it yet, but I like this passive. I think that's kind of cool. Battle skill then, 10 aura energy, dealing damage to enemies within range. Basic is what it is. Ultimate, 500% attack, max HP to enemies within range, kind of like a Filto, sort of straight line shot. And then she can choose 25 aura energy in a blaze state to grant 20% attack up to all aura allies. Gains 50 aura energy if not in a blaze state. Biggest aura energy gain, this one. And again, I think Kareth, Girthin reskin, with the ultimate skill up. Whether this applies to herself, I don't know. But she'll enter the blaze state and then use this to grant 20% attack up as well. All just sounds lovely. Theohine, Mechatalk Lady, the one who was giving us grief the end of last season, increases the hero's attack permanently by 5% when they consume aura energy up to 10 times. Bat skill, she gains 15, strikes enemies 3 times, while in a blaze state, consumes 5 aura energy to max HP damage, you guessed it. And then her ult, strikes enemies 620%, consumes 20 aura energy to ignore 30% of the enemy's defense in blaze state. Again, that's kind of nice, could potentially hit quite hard. And then Cycle, gains 50 aura, so kind of like Linkos, gains 50 aura energy at the start of the battle. Again, does what it says on the tin, deals damage with the battle skill. And the ultimate strikes 2 times, each strike dealing 400%, consumes 20 aura energy to ignore defense in the blaze state. Yeah, again, ignoring defense is always cool. So, let's see what I've done here then. So I've got her in her exclusive, okay, which increases the additional damage dealt in a blaze state by 50% when she casts a skill. We have gone for, as you can see here, just high attack, high crit damage. Not much crit rate though, because I don't feel like we need it. Crit damage on the rune, attack rune just there. Do we have anything else slightly higher? Gives us more attack. We do, but we lose crit damage, but we gain a little bit. That's a nice kind of mix between the two, I think. Oh, pop that in there. And then the main set, which I think most people are going to be using, is this crit rate and then gaining damage attack rather for every crit damage you have. So potentially this lady is going to hit very hard. And I have this Linkos. I want him to be using his ultimate to grant 35 to the ally with the highest attack. So we've gone for Hourglass, crit damage rune, with some skill haste, defense just because I wanted the skill haste essentially, and then these gloves just here. And then Diantha, our forest fairy. I actually might change her up a bit because we don't have Witch's Remains. Maybe we could put that on Linkos. We'll see. We'll come back to that. This is the Aura artifact. 60% attack increase. I wish it was crit damage or crit rate, but it is what it is. When she consumes aura energy, the damage of this skill is increased by 200% of the aura energy consumed. So someone that's using a lot of aura energy in an ability will benefit more from this. Most of them are only sort of what's the word, like additional 5 or so for the battle skills. So this one might not be the best on her, but it's what we're gonna just throw it on there, and then just what we could on there just to get some stats. These gloves, great, but I'm not going to get the real benefit without the Witch's Remains. This might be a mistake, but we'll come back to it in a second. So those are the 3 that we're going to use. We're also going to use Ardreth and Adolphus for our 5-man, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. So something I noticed just whilst I was swapping Witch's Remains around is the gloves that we actually put on him grant him 15 attack for every skill haste. So, having sort of Hourglass on this guy, instead 130 times 15, in case no one knew, is 2k attack. So that was actually put him above our exclusive. So I don't know if he would pump himself in that instance or not, but something to consider. We can certainly have a play with it. For the time being, we're just going to put this on just to give him the accuracy that he needs to do his thing. So here we are then in the Grave of Venom. We've got Ardreth in the Ancestral Protection set, and the piece that gives the potential chance to increase shielding from Adolphus. Blast Jar. Got our Forest Fairy. Got our exclusive. We got our Linkos. Then we have Adolphus. He is just using the Elminster artifact, which is so good for his shielding and just what he does altogether. So let's take it away and see how it goes, see whether we survive, etc. We're going to slow everyone down because we want the full Bloom Woman first to increase the damage the rest of our guys are going to do. So there's that. There's the defense down. Smack. seem to be doing okay. There's the passive going off there. She probably saw that invincibility, saving us a bunch there, and then her own battle skill kicking in. In the blaze state, additional damage done there, full bloom, and potentially, the fact we've left this on all auto, it's sort of gone out of tune. But that's okay. This is just to see how things go. There are no timings here. In an ideal world, we would have everything timed, of course. Still in the blaze state. Smack, smack. And there we go. Grey the Venom 9 down. And let's see, 49 seconds, so not as fast as our Shadow team in 15, but not shabby either. You know, it's certainly serviceable. So I'm coming into the Heretical Ruins now. Just because we're not going to do Goblin, you know, I think we're quite happy to presume that this will be just fine in Goblin. All right. So, and what we're going to do is we're going to wait until the Phoenixes actually spawn before we start using any of our abilities, and then we will go from there. So Phoenix is up. There we go. Ultimate 1, Ultimate 2, Ultimate 3. Ardreth using her thing. Hopefully you can clear some of these debuffs that we've got on us, especially off the exclusive, which obviously she has done. We didn't want to do that, but that's okay. We wanted to leave everything timed, but there you go. It just goes to show that I haven't pre-planned it, put it that way. So we're coming up to the end now. There we go. So time-wise, 48 seconds. Again, not as fast as Shadow, but still pretty good. Okay, guys, so here we are on Vortex. Now, we have moved up to Vortex 3, and coincidentally, it is radiant damage by 30%, so it seems like the perfect time to run these guys through. Now, we have made a little swap from our Adolphus. We have brought in Garius with his staff in his the new set, the Puppeteer set, where they share his defense, which is why I've put the 3 proper squishies just surrounding him to benefit from that. Ardreth is over here. We are using the skill timing that Gorax, who is a great Dragonair content creator, if you haven't seen it, go watch it, where we've got Ardreth using her ult first, and then which lasts for 10 seconds, and then at 9.9 seconds afterwards, Garius will use his to increase the healing, essentially. There is no decreased attack here, and we're just going to let our aura heroes just run wild, and we'll see just how things go. So we're going to just let it all run through. We'll let our full bloom lady go first. Then the defense down, and then that. And that'll be it now for the rest of our timing. Ardreth will use hers to try and clear some of the defense downs that will eventually be placed on us during number 4. But for now, that is us. So we will come back afterwards, and we'll see how we do, how it compares. Okay, so we're at the end of our run. Vortex 3, we got 68 million, so the exclusive dealing 65% of that damage. It's not the best, obviously it's far from Corrosion, but it's still not the worst. I know this is a test server, and these two are probably running corrosion as well. Yeah, corrosion and corrosion with enlightenment. Do you know what? I don't think it's awful beating this wild team here. So I think it's serviceable. That does include the 30% damage though, so there is that. That would have been funny. So yeah, it is what it is. And then just for fun to live in magical Christmas land with everyone. Just gonna see the potential for everything here. So here we go. Bang! 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 Bonk. Now hopefully everyone will be... He's already in a blazing state. So she... Oh no. Bonk. Bonk. That was a lot of damage. That was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that. Big fan of that one. One more time, because they're still in the blazing state. 870. Attack up. There is definitely potential there. Definitely potential there for sure. I suppose actually now's sort of a good time to sort of talk about it at the end here. So auras, definitely not as strong, I would say. There's some of the others that have been added to the game here, alright. But that doesn't mean that they're not usable, I suppose is the way I'd put it. You know, I think the mechanic as a whole is okay, but I just wish there was another way of boosting the aura energy increase, I suppose, outside of just using your abilities. Skill haste is obviously going to be your friend in this one, or at least with this group. But I certainly wouldn't be disappointed if all I pulled was these four just here from my upcoming summons. So yeah, skill haste definitely good. Better in PvE, not necessarily great in Vortex. PvP kind of hard to test on a test server because not many people are playing or have set up teams. Potential again, I would say. Probably not going to get you to gold, but certainly serviceable once again. But yeah, do you know what? I don't hate them. I forgive them for not being the best because they look pretty. If nothing else, she does look very nice. But anyway, thank you for taking the time to watch, guys. Okay. I don't think I've got anything else to add really at this stage. But yeah, if you don't pull a rook, but you pull this lady here and these other two, at least you've got some of your dungeons and such sorted as well. Fire and Radiance going to be very strong this season. So yeah, don't be too disheartened by it. Take care now, guys. Work hard, but remember to play harder. I'll see you soon.